really been a Lancelot. I would have even expected a Hayabusa.
Yeah.
Like with the burst and the early damaging field control that Aurora was rocking, an assassin that was a cleaner would have definitely worked. But now going in dangerous grass, yeah, I think they are once been twice shy from that Fanny.
Oh, look at it. Aurora on the blue side, Sora ban, Freya ban, and from SRG, they respond in kind, get rid of the Grok alongside with the Claude.
I love how SRG after the Sora and Freya ban go, yeah, just get rid of the Claude. That's what they want to do. They just want to put it all on Doming and then just build around him. Aurora did that last night. Good read by SRG.
You think we're going to end up with like a Harith v Granger, the good old classic?
Yeah, I was thinking that too, because like, what if Aurora decides to ban out the CC and say, keep it honest, innocent, we're not playing fighters in the gold lanes anymore, let's just go back to Granger Harith.
Old school rules.
Yeah, there we go!
Yep. Now the question is, SRG, are you comfortable with Yves and are you more comfortable with Yue going onto Jushin? That's one hell of a trade-off.
Yeah, because I feel like going on the idea that we posed for Aurora with Demon Kite being able to facilitate alongside Yue, then Jushin is not the pick that you'd want to give if you're SRG. And they do ban it out.
This does leave open the Kalia. I think first pick Kalia
I like it.
would be good.
Yeah. Don't need to rush the junglers here. You don't need to fight for my
Or do they
Just
look
take
at the
the
Eve?
Yeah.
Or do they go say, like, get the Eve and say, go again? All right.
But my only worry for this is... Wait, Stormy would rather pick up the Farsa over the Lunox, though, correct?
Oh, that one depends.
It really depends.
Yeah, generally I would say Farsa, but this time around we're going to see Sakai's back on the Yi Shin with his 57% win rate, but they're also pairing it up with the Hilda in anticipation that maybe Aurora is going to go for an assassin. I don't think they are, if I'm being completely honest.
Boxa and Fred are open.
Yep.
Pick it now.
I would honestly be okay with just picking up the Fred early on. It allows Demon Kite to facilitate, as we mentioned. If they can just, they already have the Eve, so just go Fredrin Cho or Fredrin. Oh no, they can save the Gatot or the Gatot Hylos or Cho for later.
Boxia, Cho. If you're just super aggressive, like you just really want to stick it to them.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's their turn. They're gonna go Leomord Cho.
There.
Yeah.
Okay. With the Leomord, it's going to be easier to chase down this Yishin overall, but pre-level 4 is going to be annoying because you're expecting Yums to be in your face all the time. Now that you've got your mid lane kind of secured, and more importantly, being able to kind of fight for that priority instantaneously without much damage, then you can start putting the hurt into the Hilda if ever he tries for a second invade.
Okay, down the line, I feel like SRG can slot in the Phoveus because Aurora might be leaning towards them picking up the Harith for themselves. It's all very divey, but if you look at the box and all the combos that they can dish out, very good. Oh, so SRG pick it up for themselves. Good block, and now they can ban out the Granger.
And I think that they should. The Granger fits so well into what Aurora wants to do. If you take out the Granger, what's left? Carry?
I was like, carry, I'm not going to lie.
That's it. So you ban both.
Unless, and Aurora doesn't even have the room to go for fighters because if they're going to be Leomord and
Slow.
double fighters, yeah, very slow.
I mean, it's not as meta as it used to be, but there could be an argument from Moskov, and I think it's an interesting way to play because this could potentially open up saying, hey, maybe Arlo gets passed through into the EXP lane, and now you have one more addition of CC to help out Edward.
I was actually thinking that maybe SRG would want to ban the Esmeralda because they can still slot in an Esmeralda Gold, but they read it. So yeah, I think I'm a little bit more on the Moskov boat now. That might end up becoming the pick for Aurora later on.
It looks like it's the only one left. What else has Doming Kite played?
Looking at the gold, Freya's already been banned out. No more CC. Sora also gone in terms of the best ones. I don't think they're no fighter. Yeah.
Claude, Granger, Freya, Harith, Carry. That's it.
Yeah, and they're gonna need basic attack. I don't want them to even consider something like a Lunox to go to deal with a Harith. You don't need to do that. Just play it safe, play it slow. You already have a Leomord Cho and Eve anyway to bridge you to the late game.
I like this a lot from Coach Arcadia because now he's taking advantage for the fact that he gets the ban first in the second phase. So he proposes the question, Esme, instantly getting a response from Aurora saying, we have to get rid of the Uranus.
Yeah.
Now, what we're left with is no more sandbags in the side lanes. This is going to end up being Lapu Lapu. This is going to be potential Yuzong as well. Something a little bit more fight-oriented for both Edward alongside with Cram, and with the Lunox ban as well.
Yep.
Wow!
Even the compromised pick he would rather not deal with.
Yeah.
So he's saying, hey, carry, take it or leave it.
Carry, Granger, pick.
Yeah, the Granger was left
Oh,
open.
so carry Granger, take it or leave it.
Yeah, they decided to play into it.
Why are they letting the Granger through? Is this a telegraphed Yuzong?
I'm thinking, yeah, maybe, because what if... I mean, Hilda's already most likely going to the roam. I mean, most Hildas in M7 did go into the roam. The ban of the low Yi.
Really good stuff, really good stuff. I thought maybe that might slip through the draft for SRG's side, but now I think this is a little bit of a compromise, right? What are they going to do at this stage of the game? With Hilda on your side, and there's not a lot of like mid laners, of course, self-sustaining when you're facing off against Eve Cho, you're going to lose mid priority almost straight away.
If Aurora really want to focus on their box and team fighting theory and then just play it slow in terms of managing the lanes, they can pick up a glue depending on the matchup. If the XP lane is already shown here. So you'll have a glue and then you round it out with a Granger. I mean, theoretically, with the Eve, you're going up against a Harith. It makes sense. But that's only if you see the matchup. Because if you blind glue, it might be really tough.
Zetian.
Vision. There's so much vision.
I mean, double the vision, double the fun, am I right? But
yeah,
at
they see everything.
And it's not like SRG is denying Aurora. Aurora's making their picks here with full freedom.
Yeah.
They're just not investing in it as much as SRG.
This is a really interesting draft, right? Because again, you would have imagined that they're looking for multiple win conditions. And right now, the two clear win conditions for SRG is going to be Yishin Shin alongside with the Hara. The Jushin is interesting because her passive, super useful at actually denying light entryways with a third hit of the G Kundo because it knocks him back, so he's not going to find the angle.
They do get the Granger and they get the Lapu Lapu, so they get the instant impact right away, and Edward gets one of the iconic heroes for Filipino EXP laners.
This is Aurora playing an old meta lineup featuring Leo Mord.
Yeah. It's like if that was a Lancelot, you just said, hey, you mistyped Lancelot, and Leo Mord eventually became the pick.
Or a Fredrin.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that buff guy. What, the horse guy?
Oh yeah, Leo Mord.
Both of which fits. I think here, blue? Probably. I mean, it feels weird if you go into the Yuzong because now it's like, now we have a potential coin flip that we have to worry about. Alice, even more of a sandbag. It's still looking towards that team fight.
Next year, Uranus.
Oh, this is going to be a tough one for Aurora. I give it to them, though. The lineup does have the possibility of suddenly spiking up when Domikite gets the stacks on the Sky Piercer. But this is the thing you always have to watch out with an Alice, though. It might get to the point where you just can't deal with it.
Well, just a little bit of, you know, anti-regeneration is going to go a long way, but I think right now SRG, their composition requires a lot of economy, which is why I'm leaning more towards Aurora.
Leo?
Damage profile, I like Aurora's more.
Yep.
This is not optimistic. This is actually just brass tacks we're talking.
So let's see if Aurora can actually push this to 2-1 for them. Or will SRG be the first one to go to match a point? Welcome to game number 3. The series has been great so far. SRG has delivered bangers, so has Aurora, and I'm sure that we're going to have fun. Nice-u, Miracle, let's go.
Welcome to
We are going, and I'll tell you what, this is dangerous grass. This is a dangerous lineup, man. I would say from SRG. I like what they did. They got the Hilda. They've got a couple of grounds covered. Whoa! That's what I'm.
Oh my
That's what I'm saying.
God!
It's dangerous.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is dangerous. You walk in, and you never know. There's a sneaky Hilda in the bush, but the fact that they also got the regen means Yue will go down to Stormy. You have to respect the 100% win rate. Since Yue's regen was popped, he should have recalled, dude.
Dude, you get that's dangerous range too. That was what I was gonna get. I mean, look at.
Oh my goodness, dude! Light, don't stay, please. Go home. Okay.
Yes, Light. That range from Zetian is pretty crazy. This is what we all experience now, especially on the buff. That technically. What do you do? Like, how do you lane? What are you lane against that?
Maybe don't walk into the bush against a Hilda first level 1, and then recall after your regen gets popped, right? Like, there are 2 steps before that, or before we get to this position. But now that we're here, yeah, I don't know how they're gonna lane against the Zetian, dude. We were talking about instant prio, but if you get poked that much, there is no instant prio here for the Cho and the Eve.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, dude.
I mean, on top of it, like Gideon mentioned, you know, during the draft, one of the great things about the Zetian is you have that passive built in to kind of, oh man, it just looks like they're playing range everywhere. Oh, okay.
For a second, I thought he had flicker because, like, damn, he's going in aggressive.
That's why I was saying this lineup is dangerous in itself, because SRG is able to go ahead and capitalize on a lot of that. And not to mention the amount of vision that this lineup gives them too. So what this means for Aurora Gaming Philippines is that they have to choose their windows of opportunity very crucially. They got to be on point with it. They've got to be able to make it work. But because this early game pressure was already put onto them, they're not going to be able to contest this first turtle, as it's already secured up by SRG. And here comes the pressure in the jungle. Edward?
So away the purple buff. Light goes in for Jikundo, but Stormy's able to flick around, and he gets the kill too. Now throwing a ruin onto nothing but they won already.
Nothing but air right now, Cram, though. He's going to wait for the Gleam to come up. You know, but that's the thing. That's what I was saying. Light goes in. He doesn't have a level 4 yet. Didn't burn the flicker either, but he just got destroyed as soon as he went forward. So, you know, one of those things that Aurora Gaming Philippines, I don't know, Yums, is he going to go for Domikite?
Yup, he wants to go for it. Oh my god, the Secret Vision as well! A flicker out as Light goes in with Jikundo, but there's no way the Dragon now needs to be caught in the Zaman Force. He become the steed. Yums able to flicker out of safety, but Innocent's now going to be caught all alone. Pops in a Purify, and now gets shredded back.
Oh, Innocent. What? Not going to be able to get away. He almost did. Light will take that kill secured for Aurora Gaming Philippines. So at least able to find something on the map here. They've been struggling. Oh, there it is.
Jikundo flicker. That's Light giving the kill over to Domikite. And finally, he has some space to breathe, dude. He's already 2 levels down on Innocent.
Yeah. Oh. Oh! Is Domikite going to be able to get away? Okay. Very close.
Oh my god. They don't want to stop, guys! Shoots Domikite down with the arrow.
Domikite's just let me play, guys. I'm trying to get out of here. He had so much attention towards his lane, but that's exactly what you need to do if you're SRG. Put the pressure on Domikite or elsewhere, because you have so many opportunities to be able to do that. You've got so much vision to play into. So now, with this bit of a lead that they built up, Turtle's going to be up at about 15, and they'll be in a good position for that. And, you know, Aurora Gaming Philippines has to kind of go back to the drawing board with this lineup and just kind of slow down. Part of this lineup is allowing that scalability to happen because they're losing the range battle. A lot of this is because, you know, you have to rely on the Cho. Now that you're around level 4, you have a little bit of protection, of course, with UA's RWM. But they want to go and contest this turtle.
Look at the poke. Before the fight even starts, Light is already down to a quarter of health as Cram holds on to the turtle. Now Phantom Steed coming down for Demonkite, but it's going to be Cram zoning him away with the help of Yums. Bravest fighter from Edward doesn't get it down. Fury the Phoenix, though. Yums throwing a ruin on Demonkite!
Oh, that was a great take. Domikite and UA are here to set up. Yums might be able to actually get away. Still, Light goes under the safety of the turret, but second turtle goes in the hands of SRG. Oh no, this is tough. I don't think they're just forcing them to take the long route, man.
Yeah, Yums wants to stop the recall again, and he does! Light has to move. That was a feint from Yums. He didn't even know.
It's a dangerous Hilda, man. I'm telling you. Like,
it's the most annoying Hilda I've ever seen.
It's the way it's meant to be played. Yums is doing great work here, being a threat, especially on those, you know, those spaces around the jungle where Demonkite is trying to go ahead and try to get some vision or contest these objectives, but Yums providing so much information to SRG's lineup just kind of gives them an easy time to take objectives, and honestly, that's probably how the next turtle's going to go as well. Aurora Gaming Philippines, in the meantime, have to go ahead and play in to pick off potential. The problem with that is, like I said, who are you going to pick off? Well, most of the time, you're going to have to try to make a play either in the gold lane, because trying to find out either Yums or Stormy and get through that passive is hard enough. So that's why Light has to just kind of protect Domikite and pick off Innocent if you can, but then you also have a Purify there.
So that's the rapid boots for Domikite, and he actually went 100 strikes. So no Sky Piercer yet, and it makes sense. Demon, oh my lord, that is a tilter. Phantom Steed used after, what, 2 shots on a Mountain Shocker. Innocent in the bottom lane winning hard in this matchup as well. This ain't looking good for the Northern Lights.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying, man. You're losing on all fronts right now if you're Aurora Gaming Philippines, and you know you kind of see it in the way that they're moving around the map, some of the decisions that they're making, and SRG knows to continue to put the pressure where they can. Demon Kai isn't falling too far behind in terms of levels or anything, but it's more so of, you know, what can this lineup actually do at this portion of the game, and it's just not too much yet. So it's kind of more of a survival strategy for Aurora right now. This last turtle of the game's coming up. Selangor Red Giants will go ahead and swing on forward. It looks like Aurora still wants to go ahead and show face here, but Domikai less than half health.
Yep.
It'll be really hard to pull off.
Yums is 1v1ing there. Light, oh, he goes for the way of the dragon earlier with Zikuno as well, but he couldn't find it. Now with the Throne of the Ruin and the Fury of the Peaks, Demon Kai zone. Yums again giving it the kill. At least they're able to pick up a kill back on Skies, but Demon Kai zone completely away.
Zoned away, and Edward falls in exchange. That turtle's going to be there to
God.
take Demon Kai and Light trying to get away, but Cram and Yums are there, and Demon Kai falls for the second time in the game as a third turtle is secured for SRG.
The Red Giants are just stomping through Aurora Gaming Philippines. Skies died there, and still, they weren't able to win it out. Innocent. Perfect turtle. Light goes in, wants to go for the Jikuno, but he has to remember Stormy has the passive, and Yums is right there. Domikai to walk in, man! Hilda going for the damage against Stormy, able to survive! And now it's Light going in, he has enough damage! Stormy will fall, Light gonna be taken low, and he actually does get away. But man, for the price of Domikai, and now he dies as well!
Oh, Light's trying to run, but Yums is locked on the target, and Light will survive. But yes, they lost Domikai for Stormy. And Domikai is who Aurora Gaming Philippines has to kind of rely on to have a chance in the late game here. Right now, you're looking at, man, look at the difference of the gold lane.
Nice, too. It's becoming a problem now. Why? Because look at Domikai. You know Sky here, so he's like, yeah, nah, that ain't working. I need more damage right now because if I don't farm, I won't even have enough bullets to get those executions.
Yeah. I don't know if we're going to see a Sky Piercer at all. If we do, maybe
Probably, yeah.
second to last item or last item, if somehow Aurora
Yeah.
Philippines gets control of this game. But right now, from the start, it has been no control at all. They just kind of, they're on the roller coaster of SRG, and they've just buckled in, basically. Like, it's really difficult to make this composition work because of just what is provided with the range, the vision, and everything else, like we mentioned, for SRG. So for Aurora, they're almost in this moment where it's like, all right, Domikai will protect you with everything we have, you know, and hopefully that Granger will scale up. Same thing with Eve. I mean, Eve can also scale up pretty well. We've seen some great Eve RWMs change the tide of these games or team fights. But so far, there's been no chance around objectives, and this Lord's coming up at 10. They have no
what to expect here. So this was the missing 3 minutes, right? And we're going to follow Yums because, again, once again, I'm pretty sure he's going to be the MVP by the end of this, but mainly the way that he opens up the map. And we look at the mini-map as well, we have a very good idea because what the heck, where is Light in all of this?
He's doing the old Light signature flank. Again, that's one of the few ways you can win an unwinnable match is if you find an unfair pickoff, but Yums wasn't having any of it.
Yeah. Of course, just to remind everyone who may have just hopped onto the stream now, this is the 3 minutes that we were not able to witness. Again, it did not affect tournament integrity and the play of the players, just us who saw it. So now we get to see that missing 3 minutes and this Lord fight that did go to SRG. So with what I'm seeing here, Innocent as the guys were unbothered. All of the zoning provided by the Alice just gave so much value for them. Edward got close though.
I mean, he's kind of close, but look at the back. Like, Hilda is getting absolutely beat down while this is all going, while this is all happening, right? Even Light gets back into the middle of the fight despite getting chunked out by Yums early on in the matchup. So I think this is where we saw that Lord take, and then almost immediately after, there should be a 2-for-1 trade at some point.
There it was. Well, we saw it. It was Yums for those two.
It should be Yue for Harith and Hilda.
That's another one then.
Yeah.
Look, we're about to get to that point, but for now it's all SRG. So this is what the first minute elapsed.
Okay, as we're watching this footage, I think I don't know if they'll be able to pick up the hammer squeaks behind the scenes, but I want to ask another question. If that initial trade in the mid lane, if that went well,
We're talking early game, right?
the early game, would this have been an early game Aurora win.
Oh, I had to think about that for a second. I was gonna say absolutely yes, but I think the mid game would have been a lot easier to manage if Yue didn't miss out on his level 4 that early on, and worse yet, for that first to second turtle.
No, I'm not even going to say, oh, it's because I think, no. Regardless, I think SRG would have found a way to get into this end game scenario, get their winning image, and still call the shots. We would end up at this 10, 11 minute mark moment, but maybe at 12, 13, if still change the early game outcome.
Look at the sweeping motion here, right? Because again, all of these fights have been like predetermined, and then yes, it's really, really sick. And this is finally that 2-for-1 trade that we were looking for at the very end there when they were pushing towards the base. But at the same time, right, before this fight, Yums has already kind of scoured the entire bottom side before they even use any of the global ults.
And that was a great formation with how they entered. It was sort of like a pincer as well. They were coming in from all directions. Okay, another spicy question. Sora, Freya, and CC, we were happy about those bans. But considering this is dangerous grass and knowing the tendencies of SRG, should Aurora Gaming PH have banned the Hilda instead?
Oh, I want to say yes so bad. You are putting me on the edge with these hard questions. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there was a way to play around it. And again, by maybe investing in some modicum of vision, that would have been possible. I don't know if the answer is, you know, putting the usage into the hands of Demon Kite, but yeah, no. It really was a matter of both is what you got and how you used it.
Yeah. Well, of course, again, I'm still seeing a few questions in the comment section. Yes, this is a replay of the 3 minutes we were not able to see earlier. So this is just to make sure that everyone is a little bit clearer in the story of what happened behind the, well, during the game that we couldn't see.
Picture didn't happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
It didn't happen, but also look at the conditioning here, right? Every single interaction and fight has either happened in one of two important places. Either it's by the river, just by entrances of SRG's river or Aurora's river. If not, right here at the base at this chokehold that we see Domenkite standing in front of, right? Every time they're caught in that chokehold, it is a losing fight for Aurora.
And here's the thing, Aurora can never choose where the fight happens. Sure, Light can find these weird angles, but usually he's outnumbered. Because again, the vision diff.
Yeah.
So, not just that it's dangerous grass or skill, it's because...
Okay, 12 minutes in, about to be 13. Lord was already taken earlier. No base turret is taken, but the top side base turret is already really low. And SRG still have a 6,000 gold lead, so they built 1K over the course of the few minutes we were gone.
All right, Lord is up. SRG still in control. Nothing changed. I mean, that was quite the long ultimate from Hellkurt. That's not even in the game, but hey, we're back. Aurora seems to somehow defend their base turrets at least, but now they're going to have to do it again with Lord security here for SRG. So we'll see. I don't know if they bought enough time, man, because, you know, part of this was, where's the scaling for Dome and Kite? Is he going to be able to catch up? It looks like he did pick up the Sky Piercer, though. So after he went the Hunter Strike, Sea Halberd, and the fifth item, he goes the Sky Piercer. And if they hold on long enough, maybe that Sky Piercer, once it gets some stacks, might be able to change some of these fights.
See, the thing I would love to see right now is Domain Kite's actual stacks. Not the Sky Piercer stacks, but how many bullets he has, because the way Selangor Red Giants have been playing the entire game, it really feels like they've already taken out the biggest threat of a Granger in the late game, which is the scaling. He's died 3 times. He was denied so much gold. He's 2 levels down on enemy gold lane.
We'll see if this actually plays a part. They're going to be able to clear out their mid lane, but they still have to deal with the Lord up top.
Yeah, they're going to crack this open now with the help of the Lord charge. And that's about it for now. Aurora Gaming Philippines did a good job clearing out mid and bot, and now for SRG, they're going to have to wait for the next waves to come through. Lord will be cleared for free. Domenkite getting those stacks. You can already see them trying to funnel as much of those stacks to Domain.
Mid-wave push, Dominant Force drop down. They're going to initiate here. It looks like Edward taking the brunt of the damage, but they'll clear out the waves and maintain the mid-base turret. So Aurora Gaming Philippines, despite being down 7,000 gold, SRG still respecting what the potential could be there. We've seen it before where you fumble a 7,000 gold lead or 10,000 gold lead and things turn around. So right now they want to take the discipline route, keep it safe if they can, but it looks like Mount Sharker is going to be used. And still, it's just Aurora Gaming trying to scrap up what they can. An antique crevasse now picked up for Light. Maybe going to make his, maybe it'll allow him to stay alive a little bit longer once he's trying to get those kicks off. But also, there's a whole lot of now magic damage and penetration that SRG is able to utilize because of the fact that you have the Divine Glaives to worry about, and even that Holy Crystal Divine Glaive over here for the rest of the lineup. Now, a little bit more defensiveness for SRG as well.
Let's take a look at the items here. Okay, so Innocent's already fully built up as well, and somehow, again, Domenkite, it's through those waves and the lures that they were given that they are able to actually climb back up, because I think it was a bigger lead earlier for Innocent, probably because he also died. So he's building towards that last item, and I don't know if that's Blood Wings? I assume it is Blood Wings.
Blood Wings. Yeah, maybe potentially Blood Wings. Not sure what else he would want to go here on the Harith. But nonetheless, you got quite a bit of scaling. I mean, even looking at Cram, he's got a Guardian Helm plus the Ice Queen Wand to go ahead and help slow down the members of Aurora Gaming Philippines once he jumps on in. And he's tanky enough to just soak up a lot of damage. So this Alice might be a problem. That's why Light's job right now is pretty difficult. You know, he's got to be able to go ahead and find a way, not just to find a way, but also provide the information that's needed here, because we're seeing how difficult it is for Demonkite as well to make use of this Leoborn, who's been such a strong hero pick throughout the M7 World Championship right now, but it looks like they want to go ahead, potentially contest this if they can find the angle they're looking for. Light swinging on around.
Whoa.
It's going to be a reset on the Lord, though.
Yeah, look at Yums. Aurora trying to get control over the Lord. They're actually going to be able to take the aggro, but Yums gets a really good flank here in the behind. That's the Mountain Shock coming down, and Yums has a position on Domenkite. Fear the Phoenix coming down, and it's the Skies Mountain Shocker!
Domenkite is gone in an instant, and now Aurora's on the run. But with those 2 kills as Yue fell as well, SRG gives the call. They want to push down the bottom lane.
That's the problem when you play a clean front to back. Yums doesn't care, and it cancels out the recall of Demonkite. What a read by Yums! And there's no way Demonkite can go for the 1v1 here. It's gonna be Innocent jumping into Zaman Force over on Edward. He's trying to buy some time. Light doing a good job at forcing the minions to the mid-turn, but he will fall.
Oh, they clear out the minions so they stay a little bit longer. Demonkite still being chased down, and he just wants to buy enough time. You have Edward still alive, but can he delay this further?
Now it's Innocent again. Zaman Force coming down. Edward already used the Bravest Spider. He's going to go down. And Selangor Red Giants are a game away from etching their names, their region, into the history books.
SRG came out swinging once again in this Game 3 against Aurora Gaming Philippines, and they made it look so good. Just a great performance. Again, synergy as well on display here from SRG. And you can see the faces here of Aurora. They have a lot to consider with this one. From start to finish, just was not the way that they wanted to make things happen. And you got to say, man, this was a composition, a draft. Great things there, especially from Coach Arcadia to make this draft work. The range aspect of this and that dangerousness, as I like to call it, on dangerous grass, was so good here on display from minute 30, actually 30 seconds into the game. And we look at the highlights through this, I mean, they just had full control and took what they wanted.
It's so beautiful because Yum started that off with the Power of Wilderness, and then they chained it together so well with the Fury of the Phoenix, and then Sky's Mountain Shocker, the nail in the coffin for Domenkite and for Aurora in Game 3.
Such a great performance here once again from SRG. We got to go ahead and throw it over to the panel to break down this game because there was a whole lot here that happened, and especially what we didn't see and what we did see. Let's throw it to the panel.
Again, what we did see is that SRG had all the vision in the world to work with. The Yi Sun-Shin, the Zetian, and of course Yums being relentless with reading the rotations of Aurora. There's a cruel irony to it. It was a Zetian picked up by Aurora Turkey that helped deliver the major win for them in the beginning of their series against SRG. Now it's Stormy on a Zetian delivering a crucial victory for SRG. They now go to match point with a Zetian.
That's what I was saying earlier before this match even began. All the learnings that SRG needed, they took from last night, the hard-fought 5-game series against Aurora Turkey, taught them a few things, and I was smelling it. There was something else besides the overabundant amount of vision. The reasoning as to why they were willing to give Aurora the Granger and the carry was because they were planning for this all along. We're in dangerous grass. The Hilda is naturally going to be jumping into your face.
Yep.
They have the Zitian. They can set up these long-fought initiations from the Alice. And not to mention the Harrods. They were going to rotate towards the Harrods lane very early on.
I don't know, but I think I speak for a majority of Aurora fans out there. I call espionage. I think that something is wrong here because, again, the vision is good, and I agree that the Dangerous Grass has not been Aurora's favorite map because there's too many times where a single, well, most of us would say, hey, that's a miscommunication. They literally couldn't see some people, and that's very frustrating to deal with, especially when you have a quote-unquote global vision composition on the opposite end.
Yeah. I feel like the Eve is just not working out for Aurora, mainly because SRG are willing to play into it. They really don't mind. The two games that we've seen Aurora play that Eve, SRG knew what to do, especially with the initial trade. Everything began, I feel like, because of the initial trade in the center when we started seeing the Cho and the Eve just struggle to handle the lane against the Zetian. The little missed time of Light deciding to go elsewhere, of course, can't blame him for that, but Yumes waiting in the bush, jumping onto Yue, bringing that Eve down low, and then meaning that Stormy just dictates the tempo of the mid-trade.
That's the thing. I really believe that, especially at this level, there's a lot of feints. There's a lot of expectations when you start walking into your lane. Consider this. Consider that there's already a Hilda on the opposite side. What's more likely to happen? That you would spot Hilda out in the river checking either maybe the orange, maybe the purple buff, or is he going to show up in the lane? That's the 50-50 risk that he takes when he walks up into these bushes. Although I will admit, Aurora didn't do their due diligence. They should have void blasted into one of those bushes to kind of give you a rough idea of what was going to happen. But besides that, it then devolved into something else. Edward left on an island by himself. A majority of the fights happening towards the gold side of the map. And even then, Domeng got zero action of that gold.
I think the whole situation that SRG put Aurora into exacerbated the fact that there's no vision. Multiple times in this game, these players, these very talented athletes from MPL Philippines, in their own environments, relish in the fact that it's very macrocentric. Here, they have to always think of, oh wait, SRG might be in these random corners, they want to fight, and then that kind of just melds into the background, and they forget, now, oh, I have to watch out. Remember that little bush down bottom near the turtle where Dominic just randomly walked in, like, oh no, there's dudes in here. That happened like twice. And that's twice too many times.
Of course, gotta acknowledge, and of course, we apologize for the technical issue encountered during the third game of Selangor Red Giants versus Aurora Gaming Philippines that went on for about 3 minutes. Rest assured, the tournament integrity was maintained and the game was played fairly. As you could hear with our calls earlier on, the game continued. The players were still playing, and what happened from our vision did not affect what happened in game. Thank you, each and every one of you, for sticking with us. We appreciate your patience. Again, we humbly apologize for that. We can now continue talking a little bit more about what happened in this game with what we did get to see. The first floor did go to Selangor Red Giants, but even with the 3 minutes missing, we already got a very clear picture of what happened. Before that moment, the first 8 minutes, it was a clear story of the mid lane trade was not handled well enough by Aurora, and that eventually bled into the rest of the map falling apart. They did get a pick off onto Innocent early on, but also Innocent did a damn good job of beating the Domikite in lane, straight up with that Harith.
Oh yeah, no, it was not even fair at a certain point. I think he won straight up at level 2 when we first saw the initial, forthcoming of the Hilda coming in from Yumes, who I hope is going to be the MVP of this game because my goodness, does he grind these professional players' gears to bones and dust. Unfortunately, a lot of recalls were called. Well, honestly, I do feel that Aurora should have recalled a lot earlier in a lot of these moments, but that's why. There's a lot of feinting involved. There's a lot of, do I really know that something's going to happen? Not really, but we'll probe the response first.
Which is hard to watch if you're used to seeing them play in MPL Philippines and you know that these players should know better. Because in Game 2, all right, SRG's first win, it's clear that that Fanny. They serve it up to the Fanny, right? The mistake was clear. You can point it out. Here in Game 2, rather their second win in Game 3, you can still kind of do that. You can say, oh, you were lacking this. The Zetian answered that. You made a mistake here and there. But where does it end? And where does Aurora find their way back in? Because SRG are now counting their chips saying, all right, I think this is enough. We can go all in on Game 4 and end it now.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up because I think the end-all, be-all is the outmaneuverability that we've seen throughout these past couple of games. Why are they winning? Every single time, it just comes down, they have one of the strongest mid laners in existence in the meta so far on this eve, but they always somehow get behind him. Yeah. Once again, game number 2, we saw that Barbiel, with the help of Sakai's, get right onto the RWM at the crucial moment. Same here, except even better now that you have Zetian, as well as the Yishinshin, giving you vision to guarantee, hey, they have no idea we're here at all. Let's punish it.
Yeah, going back to the idea that we presented in the very first opening panel that we had yesterday, this metagame demands perfection. You slip up on one thing, it crumbles the rest of your game plan. Everything else becomes so much harder, which is why yesterday, and for the longest time, we've been putting so much importance in the mid-trio trading. How Roam and mid handle their lanes, play around their shrubs. It's important. You slip up and then you lose, especially up against a Zetian. Zetian is that pick that we've discussed before that, yeah, if she's not getting wins, she's pretty much just there. Great ultimate, cool, vision, very nice. But when she's winning, you felt the pain.
And here's the thing. SRG won against a Zetian. Well, they played away from the Zetian and didn't even have to ban it. So I'm hoping that Aurora go into game number 4 here without that sense of panic, which is, again, some would argue, what really took down Indonesia's champions earlier in tonight's broadcast. So I'm hoping that Aurora look into this and say, yeah, it's not the Zetian, but something else entirely. The Zetian was just, part of the symptoms, not the true disease that needs to be cured. In my opinion, what needs to be cured here, and the real thing that's ailing Aurora, is the fact that they're not dancing to the tune that SRG is putting down. They're disrespecting, again, this mid-trio trade, the economy of the jungle, if you will. They're not thinking, oh, this is the kind of threats I'm going to be facing. I need to be prepared for it.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of it just comes down to just finding first positions, right? Because so far, based on what we've seen in these games, SRG are the ones moving out of their lanes first, being able to position right on top of the lane in ideal spots without having to maintain too much aggro from this neutral objective. Rora, on the other hand, actually don't mind their opponent sitting on top of it, but then who are the big hitters, right? Lapu Lapu wasn't in a majority of these fights, and by the time it actually happened, that's when SRG can make a very cool, calm, collected decision of, we back away, we take a pick, we come back in the fight once more.
Ooh, I want to play a little game here. Just thought about. Gideon, can you hold this?
I got it.
Mirko, could you pass us that hammer there? Okay, Nice, who heard me and said, Nice, could you pass me that hammer real quick? Just throw it.
Hammer me.
I'll catch it. Oh God, that's terrifying. Okay, it's scarier with Nice. Okay, first, real quick. This might be a little bit spicy, but should we just go back to the Lunox? If you agree, slam it down. You want the Lunox back?
I think the Lunox is the safest way to go because it has a safe landing phase, it's got great scaling, it does everything that you want while still having playmaking capabilities that isn't instantly punishable.
Okay.
I don't think it's all in on the Lunox. That's why I did not immediately go. I think there are other solutions.
All right. Actually, I just got word that we still do have footage of the 3 minutes that we missed out on. So we're going to go back to that. Are we going to end up casting the missing 3 minutes?
Our SRG just no more. SRG can just plan better. And one huge proprietor of that overabundance of vision and intel is none other than Stormy on that Zetian.
Yeah, I think it's unanimous here with how he handled the early game. And even the Fury of the Phoenix came in as set up after all of the vision provided by Yums. Great timing by Stormy, well-deserved MVP.
Well-deserved MVP, and I think this is one of the few times when you look at a Zetian, you're thinking like, how exactly does she get ahead?